Good morning, everyone. How you doing today? Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. And something I have done today because of all of you is I've gone back to the 50-year spreadsheet, which I think has answered some critical questions, and I have added information. A lot of you saw that presentation, my discussion with various experts, and you asked for more information. You asked me to add inflation. So many of you asked for inflation that I went ahead and captured 50 years of CPI, Consumer Price Index. One of the things you have to do when you're using 50 years, you have to take an index that's been around for 50 years. So I chose to use CPI. Then some of you have said, hey, tell me about stocks. How did stocks do for 50 years? I actually didn't see the connection. I don't think it really answered the questions, at least the questions I was going after, but so many of you asked, I went ahead and did that. But before I bring it up, and yes, we are going to bring it up, we're going to look at it together, we're going to see if we learned anything. I want to remind you why I did the 50-year spreadsheet. I had basic questions. I wanted to know a couple of things. First, I believe interest rates on the 30-year are going up. I wanted to know, in the last 50 years, had that ever happened before? And if it did happen, did housing crash? Because, hey, if interest rates are going up, payments are going up, and Zuber, you keep telling me that payments are the thing, so real estate must crash. Well, it has happened before, and guess what? Housing doubled. Housing did not crash. Crazy, right? Next, I believe that housing is a payment business. I believe as incomes go up, housing goes up. But I was wondering, did wages ever go up more than housing? I didn't think it did, but lo and behold, it has. Wages have gone up more than income. Then I was wondering, a lot of people are looking at the prices and going, housing is crazy expensive. If you follow my channel, you know I don't believe that, but I didn't know. So in 2020, housing had never been more affordable. It's crazy to think about. Given the rise in income, the remarkably low interest rates, housing had never been more affordable. And now we have 50 years to prove it. So those were the questions I was after. What we have done now is we've added more data, and I think it's muddied the picture. I don't know if it's helpful, but let me bring it up so we can look at it together. So here's the spreadsheet. You can see it. It's the same one. Let me move my picture out of the way a little bit. So again, same deal, right? We've looked at this together a lot. You know, it just goes year by year by year. As always, I cite my sources, right? So I captured the S&P data from Yahoo Finance. I captured CPI data from Macro Trends. You can go ahead and check them. If your source is different, your source is different. The numbers are probably different. I did choose to pick a date called January 1st. I had to pick some date to be consistent. So I chose January 1st close, I believe. It might have been the open. I don't remember if it's the open or the close. I wrote close, so maybe it's the close. But here we go. So again, we can look at, let's look at CPI first. So here you can see CPI. Again, we've added it. The reason I didn't put inflation before is because inflation, I wanted to know wages and homes. All the other food, gas, all of that creates a noisy picture. At least I thought it did. Maybe it doesn't. But here's 50 years of CPI data. You can see I'm just clicking through, right? I think it was negative once. Did you know CPI was negative once? I did not know that. When was it negative? Oh, here it is. 2009, CPI was negative. I did not know that. I didn't know CPI was negative. In fact, I didn't even know CPI could get negative, but it was negative. Oh, look at housing. Housing was down 9%. Ooh, 8.9%, but wages were up 5%. Housing down, wages up, CPI negative. Crazy. And then you can see that CPI has really been kind of boring, right? The last decade or so. Under 2%. Well, I guess it would, in 2018 got a little rich. I think that's when the Fed raised rates and then got smacked. But yeah. So that's CPI. You got CPI data. And then so many of you asked about stocks. Again, I don't think this was helpful, but so many of you asked, I added it. And then also just because I did the math. So you can see here S&P and then yearly growth. Like above, I didn't use the base year, but I do have the percentage going forward. So again, S&P closed, you can see it was below 100. Can you imagine below 100 in the 70s? Finally breaks 177, only to fall again. I did highlight positive and negative growth. You can see some pretty big swings. Again, I don't know I don't know. I added it, you asked for it. To me, it creates a confusing story, at least a story that I can't figure out. But it's all here. It's all in the report. We're all in the data now. You can see it really spikes here in 2020. Then because we have CPI data, I started to do some math because again, I'm a numbers guy. Again, I don't know if this is helpful. So I took S&P 500 and I extracted CPI. Why did I do that? I wanted to know how much of the S&P 500 growth was because of inflation. So for example, in 1971, what do we have here? S&P 500 went up 3.5%, but inflation was 4.29. So again, S&P growth was actually negative. That's what this says. And I've done that math all the way forward. So if it's positive, for example, here at 7.2, or actually let's take a bigger number, 27%. What year is that? Here in row H. Row H. 1976. Okay. 1976. S&P 500 went up 33%. CPI went up 5%. So you can see S&P 500 was up 27%. And then lo and behold, it's down negative 20%. And so again, I don't know what story this tells, but I did the math. And I highlighted green for positive numbers. And again, because we have CPI, I did it against home appreciation. Same deal, right? I took home appreciation, which is now off the screen. Again, so much data now. So let's just take it. Let's take a big, let's do here. Let's do row J. So home appreciation minus CPI, 8.9%. What does that mean? That means homes went up 16%. Inflation was 7%. That means homes went up 8.9% without CPI, with CPI stripped out. So I did that again for 20 years or 19 years because I didn't do the base year. And then finally, we have wages. Same deal, right? Let's find a different wage one. Let's find, oh, I don't know. Let's do, I don't know, this one. Let's do row AD. What year is that? So 1998, wage inflation. What are wages? Wages went up 5%. You can see right here, 5.1. Inflation was 1.5. That means inflation went up 3%, or I'm sorry, that means wages went up 3.5% over inflation. So again, lots of data here. I think it creates a muddy picture. I think sometimes when you add more data, it creates confusion. But again, you guys asked for it. I added it. I don't think these help me answer my questions. But maybe I'm missing something. So again, the data's here. I will likely post this report in my free courses again. I'll just put it in the bonus section. I'll put it in the paid course as well. But yeah, you guys asked, and now the data is there. One thing I do want to highlight is more data, more information isn't always great, right? If you're looking at markets or this or that, sometimes more information really creates confusion. And that's what I think, that's what this extra data did for me. It created confusion because again, I wanted to know housing questions. And this extra data didn't help me, but maybe it helps you. But be careful in always looking for one more piece of information. A lot of people think they're making progress, but they're just creating excuses. I think the first 50-year spreadsheet answered my questions. but maybe you have different questions and maybe this helps you. So hopefully that helps. Have a wonderful day. Take care.